My name is Mariah DeLeo, and I am the Good Food Economy Program Director for Seattle Good Business Network. On behalf of Seattle Good, I'd like to welcome you all to the 3rd annual Good Food Connections. We are honored to be hosting this event on the traditional and contemporary territories of the Coast Salish people, who have stewarded these lands and waters since time immemorial. Seattle Good Business Network is committed to developing a strong foundation for long-lasting and mutually beneficial partnerships with tribal nations and urban native peoples. We strive for reciprocal, respectful relationships rooted in the sovereignty of our indigenous hosts. We too give thanks to the land and sea that has nurtured us and commit to be responsible stewards in turn to ensure the well-being of our shared earth for all those who live here and the next generations to come. Today, we'll hear from Roma Jean Thomas, Executive Director of Feed 7 Generations, about the newly launched Native Grown and Gathered resource dedicated to empowering Native American food producers and businesses, in addition to a rich educational exploration of first foods. As part of this new initiative, there will also be a Native Grown and Gathered Expo this October right here in Seattle that we would highly encourage you all to attend. Engaging with these resources, buying from Native producers are just some of the ways you can be a part of honoring the ancestral knowledge and livelihoods of our Native neighbors. I'd like to introduce ourselves and then talk a little bit about the mission and purpose of this event before jumping into details. Seattle Good Business Network is a nonprofit that connects and inspires people to buy, produce, and invest locally so that everyone has a meaningful stake in the local economy. We unite businesses and community partners through shared values by connecting them to resources, opportunities, and each other. Our work includes, but is no means limited to, support for Seattle's urban manufacturers, revitalizing the Northwest Zone trades economy, and at the core of everything we do, environmental sustainability and equitable economic development. Our Good Food Economy program embodies this mission across our local food system, connecting folks working across all sectors to strengthen the local food supply chain and build a more resilient, sustainable, and just local food economy. This work includes a food system-wide online community, a community meal program supporting local food businesses, a food security network, a citywide restaurant promotion, a multi-partner collaboration to build the largest directory of farms and food businesses in the state of Washington, a surplus and rescued foods marketplace, and a new collaborative project to promote workplace well-being in the hospitality industry, which you'll hear more about today. As we come together today, it feels important to acknowledge the moment that we're in. After a worldwide pandemic and widespread racial justice protests compelled a broad societal reckoning with the theft and exploitation of land and labor that our food system was built on, the movement that built upon the decades of dedicated work by communities, activists, and organizations advancing food and economic justice accelerated and grew. And we saw greater investment in addressing these systemic inequities. We saw great support towards reversing harm that has disproportionately impacted Black, Indigenous, and other communities of color and other socially marginalized communities. The greater investment in addressing these systemic inequities. At this moment, that investment from our federal government is now not only being withdrawn, but there are active efforts from the highest levels to dismantle civil rights and civil society. As an organization, we firmly commit to continuing the pursuit of the transformation of our economy into one that works for everyone, that protects all people and the land and waters upon which we are so interdependent. Shared prosperity is vital to our individual and collective well-being. That is, the only way for any of us to be better off is for all of us to be better off. Sitting in this room, I'm filled with a real sense of the power of community that runs counter to the assault on our principles and our freedom to live in accordance with them. In the abridged words of Rebecca Solnit, there is no alternative to persevering. Take care of yourself and remember that taking care of something else is an important part of taking care of yourself. Because you are interwoven with the 10 trillion things in this single garment of destiny that has been stained and torn but is still being woven and mended and washed. We are so grateful for you who have come here today, who have taken the opportunity and the time to come and be in this space together, to be human with each other, to advocate for yourselves and others. As a nonprofit, we often have to use numbers to illustrate our impact, which can feel somewhat abstract, given the seemingly intangible benefits that come from the simple act of connection. From surveys, we measure the number of meaningful connections you all make at this event to estimate how many were made over time. While the resulting number may lack a lot of meaning on its own, when you think of the power of each connection, a new business partnership, collaboration on a shared kitchen, advocacy that changes policies and funding opportunities for hundreds, it becomes apparent how powerful these connections are together. We estimated over the past couple of events that there were approximately 1,600 meaningful connections made each year. Imagine these are 1,600 seeds, still bearing fruit years into the future. The power of us working together in community is both how we get to where we want to be and a vision for what a different world can look like. Thank you all for being a part of this community and for being on this journey with us. And before we move on to today's agenda, I'm so glad to be able to invite someone to the podium who has made today possible and who works tirelessly to build a sustainable, inclusive economy with equitable access for our smallest businesses. Lisa Smith of Washington State Microenterprise Association. WSMA's longtime support has enabled so much of our programming, and we are so grateful for their trust and continued support. Lisa.
You're so sweet. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me okay in the back? Awesome. All right, well, first of all, I am in awe. I'm in awe of all of you. I have just this much experience with how hard it is to grow food, and even more out of touch with what it takes to make food into products that are just so delicious. I've been to this event maybe 3 times, and it blows me away that when you can collaborate in ways that enable you to move your business forward, it makes everybody stronger, more healthy, more benefited in the economy. So I run a nonprofit called the Washington State Microenterprise Association, and we have 3 really important domains. We're a nonprofit. We have one domain that's about grant making. We grant out about $2 million a year. So if you know nonprofits that are dedicated to the business, technical assistance, and support for really small, under 5 employee companies, I want you to come up to me and introduce me to them. So grant making is one part. Secondly, we do training and technical assistance. We bring folks like Seattle Good Business Network to train other nonprofit partners about what they do and why what they do is so important. And then the third part is Evergreen BizLink. And that is a platform that every business everywhere in the state can tap into in order to find those business resources. So for just a question, how many of you have ever wondered about how you're going to pay your taxes? Go on. Or actually what the hell your taxes are? Go on. Or have you ever wondered how you're going to access financing? Go on. How many of you? Or if you even could qualify, how would you prepare? Or maybe you're looking for new markets, or perhaps you want to write a business plan, or maybe even export. God forbid, we may not even have that opportunity in the next 6 months. But what I'm suggesting to you is that those support resources are available to you with a click of a button. So I have 30 seconds left, pull out your phone and Google a little thing called Evergreen BizLink. Evergreen, one word, BizLink, B-I-Z-L-I-N-K. This is an app you can have on your phone for you to search. So if you're a woman of color in Moses Lake, and you may be a veteran, and you may be a farmer, and you may need a microloan, and you're a person with a disability, you can go and enter all those data into this navigator and find the right resources for you. And once you look and find the right partner that you're interested in, you click on them, you give them your information, they will reach out to you to provide support. So Seattle Good Business is one of our key partners. There are 120 nonprofit partners on that platform. Nonprofit, public, and academic. No business partners on there. So use it, and if you have a question, you can come to me. I've got a booth out there. I'm honored to be here. And without further ado, thank you humbly for this opportunity.
Okay. Without further ado, today's event. We're so thrilled to have you joining us today to connect with each other and make meaningful relationships and to discuss important issues facing all of us as we work to build a more resilient and connected local food economy. You can find the schedule listed in your programs and at goodfoodconnections.org. We'll be doing a lot of moving around today, so I'm going to give you just a brief overview. Immediately following these remarks is a panel for the whole audience sitting right here. Stay tuned for this vital and topical exploration of our current economic outlook and consumer trends to help us all understand the context for our work. This will be followed by 3 concurrent panels in this room, the bar room, and then the barrel room across the hallway. Then followed by an incredible lunch that has been created by Urban Feast Chef Austin Navarre, featuring ingredients from 18 of our local regional producers, also right here in this room. After that, we'll ask you to adjourn to another area of the venue as we turn this room over and invite you all back for rapid share presentations, followed by a little bit of informal networking. And from there, we're going to invite everyone to the hallway and barrel room for our technical tracks, more networking, and final 2 panels of the day. And for the final event you all have been waiting for, we'll return to the transformed dining and bar room for the tasting and trade show at the end to finish the day. We're so grateful for the supporters and sponsors who made today possible, including the producers who contributed to our meals for today. In particular, King Conservation District, Washington State Microenterprise Association, Eat Local First, Public Health Seattle-King County, Communities of Opportunity, Cascadia Produce, who also helped with food distribution, Washington State Department of Agriculture, WSU and Northwest and Rocky Mountain Regional Food Business Center, Puget Sound Food Hub, who also helped us supply ingredients, Farm Stand Local Foods, Washington Dairy Products Commission, Peterson, and Live Oak Audiovisual. It took an incredible number of individuals to make this event possible. I counted nearly 100 specific individuals and another 65 businesses and organizations that made today happen. Those are from the caterers to the ingredient providers, tasting vendors, Seattle Good staff, and Urban Feast staff, in addition to an advisory committee of local food stakeholders that helped shape our work and shaped today. So a really huge amount of thank you to all of those people who made today possible, and just a little peek into how much it takes to put something like this on. I also want to give a huge round of thanks to Camille Faulkner, our events and promotions manager, again, making today just fully possible. Catherine Teal, who's my right-hand person in this good food work, again, making today possible, and Gracie Santos, who helped coordinate all of our vendors in the audience today. I also want to just quickly acknowledge those not in the room, specifically those who are advocating for food security in Olympia today. We unfortunately learned after our Save the Dates that today also coincided with Hunger Action Day. And while we can't be there ourselves, we will be supporting their advocacy in asking the legislature to fully fund the WSDA's Ask for Food Assistance funding and support for our local producers. With federal funding in peril, it is critical for our state to pass progressive revenue to fully fund our human services and investments into the local food system. But don't worry, the connections don't have to end there. I would also invite you all to Good Food Forum. Oops, sorry, that should have been on before. To the Good Food Forum, which is the online community we facilitate to do just this kind of matchmaking. Whether you're looking for a new source for local lemongrass, you need kitchen equipment or commercial kitchen space, or you're looking for funding resources, you can post and share about your needs or resources there. You can also see everyone in the community, filter and search for folks, and connect with them directly. And you can find the link to join on the back of your program. I hope to see you there. As in the past years, we have a wall with information about the products and services people are looking for and offering to help you further make matches with your attendees. So you can find it just outside the restrooms over here. and then we'll also email that to you at the end of the event. You'll notice we'll have a survey QR code on our slides throughout the day that we ask you to please fill out before leaving today while it's still fresh in your mind. This feedback is vital for the continued support for this event to keep happening and helping us shape future events to come. And some final housekeeping, you'll find bathrooms located just to the room to your left. There's also some here outside this door on this side. And then, as I mentioned before, there's a couple of rooms there and there as you exit where you're welcome to take a conversation to a quieter room or attend any work you need to do. If you have any questions throughout the day, you can look for our organizers and staff who are identified by our name badges. And without further ado, I'm going to bring on our first panel for the day.